So you spent all this time mastering natural language processing, right? And then, bam, this explosion of huge, large language models happens. And you might be wondering, hey, is everything I learned still relevant? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Because we're going to show you why all that foundational knowledge isn't just relevant, it's actually your new superpower. First off, let's just take a moment to appreciate how far you've come. You see this quote from the Hugging Face course? That's not just a nice little pat on the back, it's the truth. You have put in the work, you've built up a serious set of skills, and that is the starting point for everything we're about to talk about. What you already know is about to become even more valuable.
All right, so first, let's do a quick inventory of that powerful toolkit you've already built.
And let's be super clear here. We're not just talking about theory you read in a book. We're talking about a practical foundation for solving actual, real-world problems. This is the difference between just knowing about language and being an architect of language-based solutions. You're a builder.
I mean, just look at this checklist. You don't just know what an encoder or decoder is, you know which one to pick for a specific job. You get the critical difference between pre-training and fine-tuning. You can actually train models, and you know how to measure if they're any good with metrics like Rouge and Blue, and you can get them out into the world using the hub. Seriously, do not underestimate this. That is a formidable skill set.
But here's the thing. Just as you've gotten really good at all this, the ground is kind of shifted under our feet. The whole field is going through this massive change, what we're calling the LLM revolution.
So what exactly are LLMs? Well, you can think of it like this. They've taken all those core ideas of NLP that you know and love and just scaled them up to an absolutely astronomical level. This isn't just a small step forward. It's a massive leap that has opened up a whole new world of possibilities. This comparison right here really nails the huge shift. We used to live in a world of specialists. You'd have one model and you'd fine-tune it perfectly for one specific task. Now, we're in a world of generalists. You can have one single, massive model that can follow instructions for a ton of different tasks, pretty much right out of the box. It's a totally different way to think about things.
And this new way of doing things comes with some pretty wild superpowers. We're talking about models that can juggle multiple tasks, that can follow really complex instructions, create text that is unbelievably fluent and aware of context, and even, get this, perform actual reasoning to solve problems. It's a huge, huge step up.
Okay, so that brings us to the most important question, right? You've got your hard-earned expertise over here, and you've got this massive LLM revolution over there. So how do we bridge that gap? And why is your existing toolkit the absolute key to it all?
Which leads us to the big question. The one that, let's be honest, might be nagging at you a little bit. With these new, all-powerful models, are the skills you just worked so incredibly hard to learn obsolete?
Let me be as clear as I possibly can be on this. Absolutely not. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Your skills are the very thing that separates someone who can just use an LLM from someone who can truly leverage it and squeeze out every last drop of its potential.
Okay, check this out. This table connects all the dots. That knowledge of architectures, that's how you're going to pick the right base LLM for whatever you're building. That expertise in fine-tuning, that's how you'll take a general model and make it a specialist for your company or your project. And those evaluation metrics, Rouge and Blue, oh, they're more important than ever, because how else are you going to know if the LLM's output is actually good, instead of just, guessing? And finally, understanding tokenization, that's now mission critical for managing how much information you can feed the model, and maybe most importantly, keeping your costs under control. Every single skill has a direct, high-value new job.
So, now that we know your skills are not just safe, but essential, where do you go from here? Let's talk about the journey forward.
And I've got to be real with you for a second. It's not always going to be easy. You are absolutely going to hit weird bugs and face problems that seem impossible to solve. Please don't get discouraged. That's not a sign you're failing, it's a sign that you're on the cutting edge. It is just part of the journey.
But the best part is, you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. The community is honestly one of the most powerful tools you have. When you get stuck, remember there are literally thousands of other people on the exact same path who are ready to help.
So let's bring it all home. You've got the toolkit. You see the new LLM landscape, and now you know exactly how your skills are the bridge that connects everything. The only real question left is, what are you going to build first?